Back, we are going to talk about how to use weapons in the battle sequence. There are three things that are done in battle sequences, one of which is the weapons may be used to try to target an attack, to target an opponent in an attack. So in this case, we use the sword that is on Lemuel, which is the sword of Laban. Lemuel has a fortitude of 1, okay? On his card, he's got a fortitude of 1 over here. And then this sword gives him a plus of 1 to his fortitude score, so that's 2. So he would have a 2 on his fortitude. And then if we target, for example, Helaman has a 1 of fortitude. So then we are going to draw the top numbers of each deck. Now this is different than the doing battle sequence per se. So you do not need to have a fortitude of 3 or greater on this one. So what you're going to do is you're going to draw a number here. In this case, I drew a 5. Okay, so 5 plus 2 is 7. I draw a number here, and unfortunately that is 4. 4 plus 1, that's still only 5. 5 and 7. So Helaman unfortunately is going to be lost in the in this attack because he does not have any armor and he doesn't have any way to save himself. So he is actually targeted, but instead of being lost immediately, he actually gets put into a little bit of a suspended phase right here, because we can still use him in the battle for the losses, and he counts for a total of 4, so that's good. We can still lose him and it will be very beneficial for us. So at that point, we're going to put these cards back into the used pile. So I'm going to put that back here and right back here in the used pile. We did our weapon attack. We attacked Helaman. Now we are going to do the battle sequence where we have the battle, okay? And so we still use the defense on this side. And so we had with Ammon, he's got a defense of 5. But he also has armor on, which is a defense of 4, so that's 9. And then we had 10, 11 with Helaman. So this was 11 for the defensive side. And on the offensive side, we have 1, 2, and then we have 4 here. That'd be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we have a difference of 13 and 11. That is a difference of 2. Okay, since we have fortitude of 3 on this side and we have a fortitude of 3 on the other side, we both draw a war number again, a different war number. So on this side it is 5, and on this side it is 5. Okay, so it doesn't help anybody as far as the number. It's still going to be 13 and 11. Okay, so that's a difference of 2. So we've already lost, because we have this one, we've already lost him. He's already going to satisfy a loss of 2. Okay, now here's where it's going to get a little tricky, because now we have casualties of war, which is the third sequence of the battle phase. Okay, we added up the strength, we added up the defense, that part is done. Now each side has to lose what the top of that number says. Now this says 5, so the Lamanites are going to have to lose a total of 5. Okay, we've already lost 2 here, but now we still got to lose a total of 5, so we've lost 4 with him total. Okay, we don't go, it's not 2 plus 5, it is a total of 5 on the forfeit. So we got to still lose 1 more card, or 1 more on the forfeit. But I'd rather not do that, so I'd use the top card here, because I don't have anything in my hand. I'd use the top card, and then I'd end up losing a city, which it can be neither here nor there. So I mean, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. But say, for example, that would then suffice for this side. And even though these guys won, they are still going to have to lose a total of 5 on this side as well. So in this case, I might lose, for example, something like the Lamanite Thief, which is a total of 4, and a this right here, the Scimitar, which is then, that would be 5 cards, or 5 points total. Okay, because I'm using the card as 1 point. And so then we lose a total of 5, and then we are good for that. And now both sides have lost their appropriate numbers here. So it actually turned out not too bad for the Nephite side. We ended up losing 2 cards here. They ended up losing 2 cards here. It was kind of a little bit of a wash, but now, you know, we are a little bit closer to the end. There are different ways of doing battles, but obviously you want to try and stack the deck in your hand. There are some cards, for example, that may be useful for your hand to deploy. For example, we have Amaron's Army, which can be used at any time. So if in fact we wanted to use this card, we would add an additional 3 points to our battle. Okay, so we would end up getting 3 more into our strength, and so it would have been 16 to 11, and that would have been a bigger loss. So we can actually use cards to our advantage. It does pay to actually read the cards ahead of time and know what you're putting in your hand. A lot of times, a lot of the decks that you'll play different card games out there, and that's exactly what you'll do is you'll end up kind of, you know, making your own deck, building your decks, and building them to suit your needs. So that's how that is done, okay?